Hi, it's Jeff here from PROMT Parts. Just going to show you today how to change your gearbox oil on any outboard motor. This is an Evinrude E-Tech 90 horsepower, so Johnson & Evinrude, late model, use the same fitting, but most outboards have a flat blade screwdriver that you undo. Okay, so there's two drain fill bungs that you want to remove. There's a bottom one and a top one up here. So you remove the bottom one first, so that when you take the bung out, it doesn't creates a vacuum in the gearbox, so it doesn't just dump all the oil out. So remove it. It's a good time to check your magnets for metal and milky oil, and then you remove the top one and the gearbox oil will drain. If your gearbox oil is milky, it's an indication that you've got water in your gearbox, so it's a good time then to book it in to your service provider to get them to vacuum and pressure test the gearbox. So we'll let this gear oil drain. While that's draining, we'll replace the seals, the washers on the drain fill. Make sure that you remove them. The top one didn't come out, so we'll use a little pick to get that one out, and then we'll come back once the oil's drained. Okay, so we're just going to replace the drain fill washers. That one came off. If they're a little bit hard to get off, you can just use some side cutters and snip the washer to remove it. They can be fiddly, which is why cutting them with side cutters helps. So remove the old washer, give them a good clean, so that next time you change you can look for any metal on the magnet. And then we've got our two new washers that we're putting on, ready for when we change the oil. And we've got here this Sierra gear lube pump, and that matches nicely with one of these little 1 litre Sierra gear lube oil bottles. So we'll get this ready. So the little tube goes in. It's got a little protection cap on the top of it. If you're servicing a Japanese style engine like a Yamaha or a Tohatsu, there's a little adapter that you need to screw onto the end to fit that, that fine thread. So remove the film and make sure that none goes into the bottle. Screw that in, and we're ready to go. So it usually takes around 5 or 10 minutes for the gearbox oil to drain. So while it's doing that, it's a good opportunity to grease your prop shaft, inspect your propeller shaft seals, which we'll cover in the next video, and just having a good look around the boat. So when the engine's draining, you want to make sure that you can tilt your motor down enough so that it's not on a big angle, so that the drain is at the lowest point. And also when you're filling it up, you don't want it to be on a big angle because your oil level won't reach the top hole. So to make sure that you can tilt your motor down far enough, what we've done on this boat is we've dropped the front of it off the jockey wheel on a trolley jack so that we can get the front of the boat down low enough to tuck the engine under. Yep. Okay, so now that this is finished draining, we're going to screw the bung in from the bottom, or the pump in at the bottom fill. So always make sure that you've taken out the old seal. So put it into the bottom, and then we just start pumping until it comes out of the top hole. Okay, so the oil's worked its way through. So I tend to leave that sitting for another minute or so, just let any air bubbles work their way out. And then give it another couple of pumps to get those air bubbles out, and make sure that it's full. So just remember that this needs to be the highest point. Don't have your motor tilted and have this down, because there'll be a void in the gearbox that won't have oil. So make sure that this is level or the engine's slightly tucked under. Okay, so we take our top drain bung, put that one in first with the new washer. Make sure there's a washer on it, otherwise you will get water into your gearbox. And what that does is that creates like a vapor lock in the gearbox. So when you take the bottom one out, all the oil doesn't fall out quickly and you've got time to put in the new drain bung. Make sure that's done up nice and tight. And that's it. Your gear oil is good for another 100 hours.